John Howell here. I want to come on to do this session for you because I've been seeing a lot of people the way that they've been trading these markets and the way that they've been, trying to get ahead in these markets. And I want to do this session today. And my hope and my only hope in today's session is I can help you with some things if you're trying to understand the path of getting ahead in the markets. I'm not coming to you saying that I'm perfect. I'm not coming to you saying that I'm a know-it-all. But I'm coming to you from a guy who's been through the ringer with these markets for the last 15 years. And I know that means nothing to you, but what that means to me is a matter of what were the things that caused me to go back, $250,000 in the hole, and and how did I get out of that, and how did I move forward, and how does that relate to you? So I want to share some things with you in this quick little session today, and hopefully it's going to help you out when it comes to your trading. If you are struggling right now in your trading, you're confused about these markets. If you're finding it hard to understand these markets overall, how do I even get ahead in these markets? If I want to start making money from these markets, how do I do this? Because no doubt I was in that same boat probably 10 years ago now. How do I truly get ahead in these markets long term? Not just on a very short term or get lucky or anything like that, but if you're struggling in the markets right now and you're finding it very, very hard in the markets right now, I wanted this live session for you to come on, and this is my, you can't see it, can you? There you go. Can you see it? No. No. There we go. This is my setup. What my setup looks like. So that's my setup there. The first thing that I want to share with you today is that you can do so well from trading. You really, 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 really can. Any market, Paul, any market, it doesn't matter. They all operate the same way. Whether it's the futures market or the Forex market or the stock market or any market out there, it's the same machine, it's the same humans pushing these markets around, right? So it doesn't matter what market you're trading. If you apply sound fundamentals to your trading, you could do so well from that. And what I mean by that is that if you have a really good successful trading system, you should be able to apply that to any market on any time frame. Like with me and my private clients, we have a system, right? And I share it with you, right? Go to johnsfreetraining.com. You can join a free training there, and I share with you the system. It's not like I'm hiding from you, right? But if you have a successful system, then you can apply that to any market. But the thing is that stock market, Forex market, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. The market is the market, really. And you can apply sound fundamentals to every single system out there. But here's the thing, guys. My tipping point when I started to actually truly get ahead in the markets, not just sort of not going backwards. My tipping point for me was when I said, you know what, I'm sick of doing this. Because there was a point in the time, guys, I remember the point in time where I would work hard, I'd save money, and I'd lose it in the markets. I'd work hard, and I'd save money, and I'd lose it in the markets. And I kept doing that again and again and again. I'm just like, what's going on here? And I didn't realize that it was me that was stopping me. My heart goes out to you guys if you're looking at these markets right now and so confused. I'd say this. How can the market be going up when there's been a lot of bad news? And how can the market be going down, and so on and so forth, right? And here is the one thing that I must say, that if you are dead serious about getting it, making money, making good money from the markets, here's what I say, right? And by the way, here's what I say, okay? It doesn't matter. It's not about whether the market's going to go up tomorrow or down tomorrow, or what the indices are going to do tomorrow, right? Because just because the S&P 500 does something tomorrow, like if it goes up tomorrow or down tomorrow, I personally think that we've got a bit of a down leg coming soon. Actually, tomorrow into next week. But that's just my thoughts based on what I'm seeing in the markets right now. But even if that's the case, that doesn't that bias shouldn't be connected to every single stock out there. There's hundreds of stocks out there that are breaking up to all-time new highs, or maybe not hundreds, but there's many stocks out there that are breaking up all-time new highs, and there's many stocks that are not. Many stocks that are almost at their all-time new lows, like like Boeing, like some of the banks and so on and so forth, like JP Morgan, so on and so forth, where Amazon's breaking up to new all-time new highs. Facebook's at almost at all-time new highs. Netflix is well above its highs, and so on and so forth. Now, why am I telling you this? Because it's not about getting it right for you to make money in the markets. And here's what I mean by this. I always thought that I had to be right in the markets to do well. I always thought that I had to be right to be rich. And that term rich, right? What does that mean? What is rich? I remember when I first started trading over 15 years ago, like, man, if I could make 100 grand a year, I'd be so happy. And then you do that and you say 200, 300, 400. It's like, oh my goodness, I would like to make 100 grand a month, and you do it. And you're like, what is that, man? What is that success, right? I found that the hard way, a long time ago. But the whole thing is about this, guys, is that every single stock out there is in its own rhythm. It's in its own sequence. Like, we're just doing different things, right? So you can't apply one thought, oh, the NASDAQ is doing this right now, so that means all the stocks in the NASDAQ are going to be doing this one thing. You can't be saying that, right? All the S&P, all the 500. That was the first thing that I had to really get out of my mind, was thinking, I have to remove the thought that just because the indices, S&P 500 and Dow Jones, are doing this one thing, doesn't mean all stocks are doing that one thing. And that relates to your trading. And how's that? Is because successful trading is never about luck, or never about, now this is success long-term, right? Success long-term. Successful trading is never about being lucky, right? Successful trading is about having your setup, whatever that setup is. Whatever the setup you truly believe in. Now, within that setup, whatever you truly believe in, if you don't have one, then just, if you go to johnsfreegift.com, I'm actually giving away a free trading course, so you can actually see a couple of different trading systems. If you'd like to learn my number one trading system, then go to johnsfreetraining.com, JOHNS freetraining.com, and you see my trading system, right? I teach you it. But the thing is this, guys, is that no matter what system you're trading out there, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. It's not a matter of what the market is doing, but it's a matter of what are you following? What are you looking for? And I recently put something on with my private clients recently, and I said to them, know what you're looking for, right? I.e., stick to the system. And and that's what I want to point out to you guys. Are you guys, or are you, should I say, if you're finding it hard right now, confusing the markets, seem to be going backwards, were you trying to short the market a month ago because everything was really bad? If so, then that's never going to get your head long term, right? Because say for example, you did get it right. Say for example, you shorted it, everything looked really bad, you shorted the markets, and suddenly you made money. To me, I don't care about that. I don't care whether I don't care, I have some people saying, John, I made all this money from Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that doesn't matter. What I'm all about as a coach is, how do you apply whatever you are trading, and you can replicate that so you can do well for the rest of your life. Knowing within that system, you're going to have some losses, that's part and parcel, and mostly profits. Or I'm hoping you're trading a system with a high win-loss ratio. But even if you're not, just making sure your profits are much bigger than your losses. But it doesn't matter. See, just because you make money doesn't mean you got it right. And just because you lose money doesn't mean you got it wrong. Let me say that again. Just because you make money in the stock market doesn't mean you got it right. And just because you lose money in the stock market doesn't mean you got it wrong. Hey Jay, how you doing, man? And what I mean by that is this. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get in here right now because this looks like it's going to do this. Not because it's, okay, this is my rules and I'm going to trade it, but I'm going to I'm going to I'm going to yeah, I'm just going to get in, right? And so therefore you got in based on a thought, based on hope. There wasn't any probability based on that. Right? And so if you get into a trade and you say, okay, well, this looks like it's going to do this, and I think it's going to do this, and you get into it, and it does move in that direction, whether it's shorting a stock or buying the stock or whatever, going along the market, and it moves in your direction, and you actually get out for a profit, you got it wrong. Because how can you replicate that for the rest of your life? That's what I'm all about as a coach. That's what I'm all about with my clients. I'm all about teaching them a really, really, really simple system that gets like 90+% success rate and getting them to stick to it no matter what. Most are profits, some are losses, rinse, recycle, repeat, do well for the rest of your life. See, if you got into a trade and you made money, but it was just based on, well, it looks like it's going to do this, and you made money, you got it wrong. Because how are you building a strong foundation when you do that? And what I mean by that is like, how are you building that core solid confidence to eventually one day quit your job? Because that's what happened with me, right? Like if I want it back 10 years ago when I wanted to quit my job, I realized that, hang on a minute, yes, I may be trading and I may be getting some trades right and I may be making some money, but there's no, like, I wasn't sure about the next trade. I was scared about, is this next trade going to be a profitable trade and all that sort of stuff, which is the wrong mentality. And so I wasn't building that core foundation, but, once I started realizing that just because I made money doesn't mean I got it right. And so, so if you're doing that throughout the year, I guarantee you that even if you do make some good money on a 1 or 2 or 3 trades, I guarantee you within your 4th or 5th trade, you're going to get bang, you're going to get a big whack. Right? Because you're going to start to double up and double up and double up because you think you know it all, and ego, and then boom, I've done it. Right? I've done it. I'm there. And it wasn't until I actually did it a few times, like, man, something's not right here, right? It's like I'm trading, but yeah. So just because you make money doesn't mean you got it right. Getting it right simply means you took a system, whatever system you follow, which simply means a pattern wrapped around with some rules, and then having good risk management on that and saying, okay, if this trade I'm getting into right now is part of the loss in the win-loss ratio, am I protecting myself? That's you getting it right. Makes sense? And that's you saying that's you doing the right thing long term. Because if you stick to that approach where you're protecting yourself when you get into the market, but when the wins are there, you're doing well, you slowly do well over the year, and that's how you build the solid foundation. I don't care about you guys making money. I had someone come to me a few years ago saying, John, I just made $500,000 in Bitcoin. I'm like, so? It doesn't mean you know jack shit. Like, really? Like, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's what can you do for the rest of your life? What can you do this year, next year, and next year, and next year, repeatedly, without any guessing, without any luck, without any thought? That at the end of the year, if you're stuck to this one system with good risk management, even with a 70% win-loss ratio, if you're stuck to this one system only, that means if you stick to this one system, whatever system it is for you, and that means that you take the trades when they come. You consistently show up every day. You're looking through the markets, doing your scans, looking for the trades. And discipline, you're only going to take that setup. And patience, this is the hardest one out of all of them, right? Is patience. I don't care, whatever system you're trading, I don't care if you have to sit on your hands for a whole month and have no trades at all. Your job is to wait until that one setup that that works most of the time appears on the charts. And if it doesn't, don't click the button. That's the path to success. That's the path to getting ahead in the markets. It's not, well, the market's rigged and the people are against us and all this. No, that's a whole bunch of garbage. No, because there's patterns out there that repeatedly have a very high win-loss ratio. The problem with you is that even if you do take a trade that meets your plan and it's a losing trade, you think you got it wrong. No. You just, the path to success in the markets is every single system out there has a win-loss ratio. And you can never know up front which trade's going to be the wins and which one's going to be the losses in the win-loss ratio. Your job is to wait as long as you have to until that setup appears. No matter what market is, no matter what you think the indices are doing. If you have a really good bullish setup on a stock, but you think the indices are going to crash, you still take that trade. Because I guarantee you the trade that you don't take runs on for good profits, and the trade you do take end up giving you a slap. You can do it. You can become so good at trading. But one, what is your setup? What is that thing you're looking for on the charts? What pattern is it? What setup is it? Again, if you don't have one, then go to johnsfreegift.com and I'll give you a setup. Or if you want to learn my number one system, go to johnsfreetraining.com. And you can learn that stuff there, right, for free. But what is that thing? And even if you have a system, what is that system there? Right? What is that system you're looking for? Do you even know what you're looking for? Or are you just blatantly guessing based on all this other crap out there on YouTube? I'm on YouTube, right? Right? But you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And so firstly, one, what is that system you're looking for? Secondly, your job is to consistently show up every day and look for that system. Consistently. Discipline. Only be taking that setup. Be disciplined, and patience. I don't care if you have to show up every day and look and no trades. A week later, no trades. 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, no trades. You wait as long as you have to until that pattern sets up. And when that pattern sets up, without any thought, without any second guessing, without any bull crap, bullshit, what's happening out there in the markets, and the market's crashing, the market's not, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? You take it. And knowing the fact that this trade could be a losing trade, you don't know. You don't need to know in order for you to make money. You just know if you took this exact same setup 10 times in a row, 7 times are going to do really well from you, 3 times are not. Rinse, recycle, repeat for the rest of the year. At the end of this year, you're going to do well. I see a lot of you guys out there that are so trying to predict. Trying to, like when I do my market updates, like you see me do, like that's me doing my market updates. But when it comes to my actual trading, I'm waiting for my setup. And your job is to wait as long as you have to. One of my earliest mentors said, John, you're a waiter. You're paid to wait. And it's never the system that you have to worry about. It's that one last thing. You're just getting too impatient. And I'm not sure the reason why. But maybe, just maybe one of those things is that you've actually set a short-term goal for yourself. I want to make $100 a week. Or I want to make $1,000 a week. Or I want to make $5,000 a month. You can't do that to yourself. Why? I'll give you an example. With my system, with the way that I trade, January and February this year, oh my goodness, me and my private clients absolutely crushed it. I had... me and my private clients absolutely crushed it. Okay? We did so well. I had 2 of my private clients say they had 6 figures in the first few months of this year. I think first 4 months of this year. Right? So we had amazing good 2 months out there. So we did so well, right? January, February, we did really, really well. Then March came, guess what? No trades at all. No trade at all throughout the entire March. April came, boom, we're back into it again. So, and that's where with my coaching, my private clients, I was telling them, listen, there's been no trades lately. Don't be taking crap. Be patient. And thankfully I was there to coach them, because then when trades did come, they'll back on track again. And then now for the last month or so, there's been some really, really trades. Some good, mostly been shorter term trades, but they've been really good trades. I got out of Apple recently for 236%, 36%. That was actually a really good trade. And then I just got out of a trade a couple of days ago for 20% profit. I was only in it for 1 or 2 days. But most of the trades generated profit with my system, the way that I trade. So that's the reason why you shouldn't be setting short-term goals, even monthly goals. Your goal should be, okay, this is my system. I'm going to take it every single time. This is the risk management I'm going to place every single time I take the trade. And the problem is that we throw our emotions, our thoughts, our fears, our feelings at this thing out there that doesn't give a shit about you or me. It's called the market. And I guarantee you that if you do have a good system and you know your win-loss ratio on average, right? On average, that if you stuck to those things, you'll consistently show up every day looking for it. You're disciplined to take the trade. You're patient. It doesn't matter how long it took. How long it took. You waited until that one setup appeared, and then when it did appear, you took it without any thought, any emotional, any second guessing. Here's the setup. I'm taking it. I'm also applying good risk management because if it is a losing trade, then I am going to protect myself. If it isn't, so on and so forth, right? So I'll give you an example, like with the way that I trade. I have a high win-loss ratio system, but on the average losing trade, it might be 20 to 30% loss, right? On my position there. So if I'm trading 10% of my account, average loss is 2 to 3% loss on my account. When the profits do come, which I don't know which trade's going to generate a profit, right? I'm in 2 trades right now. I don't know which one's going to generate a profit, which one's not. I don't need to know. I don't care. So my average loss is 20 to 30% traded because I trade options, by the way. I use the stock market, but I trade options on that. So my average loss is 20 to 30% around there, but my average profit is as low as say 60% up to say, 100% or more. So my profit is almost double most of the time. So the profit would average around about say 80% if you average it out. Some of them a couple of 100%, some of them are lower, but if you average it out, it's probably around that 80 or 90%, somewhere around about there. Right? So I have a high win-loss ratio. When the losses do come, 20 to 30% loss. When the profits do come, average profit 60, 70, 80%. Just call it even 60%. Right, I'm dropping the numbers down now because it's double the profit. You keep doing that, even with a 70% loss ratio. With my system, it's like 90% of the time it does well. But even if you have a system that does 70% of the time, and you can apply some of those risk management techniques to where your average loss is 2 to 3% loss on your account, and your average profit is 6 to 10%, maybe more on your account. How many trades per year do you need before you're starting to do 60 to 70% return on your entire account? You see what I'm saying there? That's where you don't need a lot of trades. I would rather trade a system that has not a lot of trades. What I mean by not a lot of trades is maybe 1 or 2 per week, or maybe 1 a week on average. But it has like a very high win-loss ratio. Therefore, I know most of the trades are going to get to me. So to do a really good return on your account over the year, all you have to do is just stick to that foundation fundamental principles. So if you're confused about these markets right now, right, you're trying to get ahead and you're confused and you're like, man, I just don't understand these markets. Firstly, I would say go to johnsfreegift.com, johnsfreegift.com. You've got a free trading course. I'm going to give you a free trading course there. I teach you some foundational stuff to actually getting ahead, like chart reading stuff. Or go to johnsfreetraining.com. I'll teach you my number 1 system to how I trade the markets. But it's never the system, right? The system's not the thing you need to worry about. It's like, what do you do in those times when there's no trades? And your fear of missing out, right? Because silver's going through to the moon. And or the market's going to crash, or all this sort of stuff, right? And you have to throw all that emotion away. And so if you're confused about these markets, about truly getting ahead of the markets, that's the next step. And on top of everything I've just said there, guys, the number 1 process you must do is record every single trade you take. Every trade you take, record it to a spreadsheet. Just put the date, the stock you did, whether it was an option or not, how much you actually put into it, basically. and the date you got out of it and some comments. Record. And once a week, or at least once a month, review. And review every single trade you took. And then ask yourself, where do I need to improve on? Do I need to improve on, some of these trades are not actually with the plan, so I need to do that. What else do you need to improve on? Maybe it's your management of the trades itself. So maybe you're doing a really, really good job at sticking to your system, but maybe you need to improve on your management. And then the next month, guess what? Now you start to focus more on the management side of things. And you do that. And you stick to the system, you record it you record every trade, you review it at least once a month, go over the trades you did, and then you ask yourself, where do you need to improve on? 6 months from now, you are absolutely kicking ass. Because then from that process, by recording it every trade, you're now, a big light is shining on you where you're going wrong. And this is the biggest thing that I do to this day. And it's the biggest thing that gave me the big wake up call to realizing that when I first started trading, I was all over the place. There wasn't any. And slowly but surely, it was like 80% shit trades, 20% good, system trades. And then 50-50, and then it went right up to where I'm right now. You can do so well from these markets. You really, really, really can. And I truly believe in you. But it's never about being lucky or the market is rigged or any of that sort of stuff. And if you're thinking like that, then please stop thinking like that, because it's going to stop you from getting ahead in these markets. And I'm telling you right now, okay? I'm telling you right now, there's going to be, even if the market does crash, there's so many amazing opportunities out there. Even if the market does start to go into a massive bear market over the next couple of years, there's going to be amazing opportunities everywhere. Silver, gold, mining stocks, individual stocks. Really amazing shorting opportunities. There's going to be amazing opportunities. My only question to you is, are you prepared for those amazing opportunities? And what I mean by that, are you prepared, is, what are you looking for in a really good trade? What does it look like? What's your setup? Are you trading like a madman, or are you sitting back, relaxed, waiting for those really good trades to appear? Trading it and then moving on. I'm getting some questions here. Good evening from Canada. I took volatility in situation like these. I don't invest long term. Even if you Possum? Are you saying that you took the VIX? I hope you're not saying about the VIX. If you are, stay away from the VIX. That's one of the worst things out there. Because the market just may go sideways for the rest of this year, guys. It may go down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, and maybe forming a big, massive right shoulder. It looks like maybe we may have formed a big left shoulder. So if we're going to create a right shoulder, then expect the market not to really do much. Down 10%, up 10%, so on and so forth, right? Down 20% or whatever, as it fills in this right shoulder. So if you trade in the VIX, then your VIX is going to get smashed, because it's not going to go down a lot or up a lot. And I did that and didn't really work. So I hope that's not what you mean there. Wise advice, thank you for that. You need more fans, doing excellent work. Thank you, man. Thank you, appreciate that. Amen, brother. How do you know when to take out money? Having money in the account is one thing. Taking that altogether, how do you pay yourself? Good question. What I do personally is I take money out every year for that following year, or at least once every 6 months, right? So, like, for example, at the start of last year, the profits that I made from trading last year, I took a whole bunch of cash out of that, and I put into an account. I said, okay, this is my living and all the expenses in one separate account. And so therefore I knew that if holidays, living expenses, and all that sort of stuff, spending money is now in one account. Now, if you can't do 12 months, do this at least 6 months. But I do 12 months for me, and then so therefore it's in an account, and then from that I just basically live on that. Obviously, I have the income that comes from the business as well, but I don't rely on the business for the income. And then that allows me, when it comes to my trading, that allows me to do really well from trading um, because I'm not focusing on trying to make money this week to pull money out this week to live on. So that's the one thing been the biggest thing out there for me, is that I pull it out in chunks. So when I went full time, I made sure I had at least 12 months worth of money in my bank account to live on, plus I had my trading account, so I could sit there and do my job and not take crap. And the funny thing is that when I didn't need to make money, I made money. When I needed to make money, I didn't make money. So I hope that makes sense. So at least 6 months there. But pulling money out all the time is probably not a good thing. Let it compound. Yes, true. I think I need to keep tabs on my positions, otherwise it's just gambling. Yeah, I turned 3,000 into 4,000, but it went straight gambling. But now it's all positions. I have my plan. I get in front of my phone. Cool. You're absolutely right. Um, you're absolutely right. The technical system consistency is very important. However, in these conditions, we need to listen to Trump and Powell. Nah, what a load of crap. No, absolutely crap. You don't need to do that. You don't need, like, how you cannot trade that. That is absolutely just total crap. You don't. You need to have a system in place. Things move like crazy if you know where to look for these guys. Open up. No, because you never know. Just because they say something doesn't mean it's going to react the way that you think it's going to react. How can you get any probability of that? No. What's going on? Like, firstly, you say you're absolutely right. The next thing you say, well, just listen to Trump and Powell. What? No. No, absolutely crap. Stick to the rules. Our mine is going to rocket this decade. Yes, I believe anyway. But buy the dip, not the VIX, just in general. Any trades that you see that are good setup? No. Have your own set of rules. You need to find your own setup. Whatever setup you're looking for, whatever setup you trade. There is no get rich quick. There is no, well, quickly tell me the good setup right now. Do the work, guys. Otherwise, don't trade the market. Thank you for sharing. It's smart. Good idea. The key is not to stress over it. Exactly right. Exactly right. People that want to be right. They want to be right. They want to be right. You know what I mean? To me, I always say to my clients, they go, "Oh, what if it's a losing trade?" I'm like, I don't give a shit. Trade it, make some money. And I always say that to my private clients, or something similar to that anyway, which is simply means that the system works. My job is not to get involved. My job is not to play with it or muck with it. And I take that. So anyway, guys, if you have the thoughts, like there's someone on the Facebook, on the comments here, thinking that you need to know what's going to happen because Trump speaks or whatever for you to make money, that's a load of crap. There's so many patterns out there that repeat again and again and again and again that have a really good win-loss ratio. And if you can find those patterns, that's what a basic system is. It's basically a pattern on the markets. Most, some will losses, most will make profits, rinse, recycle, repeat. You can do so well from trading. So, anyway, guys, I'm gonna get back to it right now. I really, really, really respect every single one of you guys, and I know sometimes you can be so stressful about these markets, and it's so hard sometimes. It's so confusing sometimes about these markets. Like, how do I truly get ahead? Because I really want to, and I understand that. I really, really do. And my only hope in this session here, guys, is to try to give you some light. Try to give you some light about, I want you to do well for the rest of your life. What are you doing right now, this year, this month, to build that solid foundation so you can repeat the same thing again and again and again and again, so you can build the future you want. Because I know these markets can be really, really confusing, but in the whole mix of all this crap out there and indicators and news and all that sort of stuff out there, there's a simple process of having a simple system, taking it every single time and nothing else, with good risk management. Some are losses, most are profits. Rinse, recycle, repeat. You do that, and do that, and by the end of the year, you're doing really well. Next year, you're doing even better, and before you know it, 5, 6, 7 years down the track, you're doing 7 figures from the markets by following that one system, even starting from scratch. Because I guarantee you, you take a really good trader with a $5,000 trading account, a really good trader simply means he sticks to his system. That's what a really good trader does. That's all it is. You take a really, really, really good trader who sticks to his system no matter what, with a $5,000 trading account with good risk management, and in 5 years' time frame, that person's a seven-figure trader. You take a really bad trader who's all over the place like a madman, and then $1 million trading account, and before you know it, he's lost it all. So I hope that makes sense there. Thank you for your time. No problem. Cheers. I appreciate your time. When we lose, we have no one to tell. Yeah. One more question. How do you avoid greed? How do I avoid greed? It's just via experience, I would say. For me, the consistency of making money is more important than how much money I make. Let me say that again. The consistency of me making money is more important than how much money I make. So I want a high probability that I can generate a good income and not worrying about oh, I got out too early, I should have stayed in and all that sort of stuff. So the biggest thing about greed for me was staying in trades that I shouldn't have stayed in, and noticing that if I just kept looking for those really good trades, and as soon as the market ran off a nice profit, I took it and not being too greedy. Bulls and bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. Then I would have did so much better than trying to look for those home runs, right? And so small wins, win the race when it comes to when you're trading there. So greed is a hard thing out there. But it's not until, especially us men, especially me, it wasn't until I realized that me trying to look for these big home runs is actually overall is actually causing me to go backwards. But if I just got into the trade, allowed it for a few days, especially the way I trade, allowed it for a little bit of time to run on for profit. As soon as I had some good profit there, just take it, say thank you very much, I generated good profit, and let's go repeat that cycle again and again and again. Do you trade options or stocks? Same sort of thing anyway. Really does. And what I mean by that is that if you know how to trade, if you have a good system on the stock market, I just apply options to that to leverage it up. Thanks, John. I live in Bangkok. Time difference, cool. TC2000, I don't have one. I prefer to get your coach. TC2000, I don't have. We don't. Okay. Well, whatever system you're using, you say, I prefer to get your coach. Okay. Well, if you go to johnsfreetrading.com, you can log on there. I'll teach you my system and how I trade. And then obviously I'll talk about my coaching program on there as well too. Silver is ripping through $16 right now. Fantastic. Is it? It is too. Wow. Look at this. Let me see. Let me turn this around. How do I turn this around? Let's turn this around. That's silver right there. So silver is actually taking off, which that was expected anyway. That's silver right there. That's gold. Gold's not too much. Silver's actually starting to take off as well. So, so silver's, and that I expected that anyway. If you guys have been watching my silver and gold videos, I've been saying that low around $14 is probably our low for many years to come. I'm definitely a pig. I'm numb to 100% returns on SPY options. I've had many 30-50% gains that turned into losses because I wanted more. Exactly, right. Exactly, James. Bond. So I hope you can realize, right, that you probably would have done better just by taking those small with 30 to 50% losses, and then when the losses 30 to 50% gains, and then when the losses did come, try to keep those as short as possible, and you'll do well. You should do this more often, just earlier. It's past my bedtime. I love your energy. All right, fantastic. Well, I didn't expect to do this. I just came back from a haircut, right? Looking all sexy. You know what? I want to help these guys. I'm feeling good. I really want to hop on and help these guys. Great trades, but I'm horrible at taking losses. Gotta be more. Yeah, exactly right. Good sign, John. What's good sign, Jay? Do you think it will fall as fast as it rose like 2008. Maybe, but I think this is going to be a lot longer than 2008 personally, because it's something. This is a lot different. This is the whole. This is a new era, guys. Um, this next economy downturn, which has started already, I believe, is something different. It's not 2008 anymore. It's something completely different, right? We're going through a complete world change. This is a new era. We will, by the end of this decade, have a new currency, a new world order, a new power. Maybe that's China, and then maybe it's a one world currency. I don't know. But by the end of the decade, we will have a new power, and it won't be America. We will have a new currency. So whether it's a digital currency or something else, or a one world currency, because the way that this government's working, and then by the end of this decade, there's going to be a lot. By the end of this decade, we would have went through a period where healthcare, pensions, liabilities, stuff like that would be really, really stressed. So, yeah, yes, base hits is my current goal. 20% gain a day. I swing for the fences. Have had many 5-10 baggers nailing tops. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be trying. I wouldn't be trying to nail tops. Sorry, silver through 16. Good sign, John. Oh, okay. Sorry, Jay. You said so. So silver going through 16 right now is a good sign. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by a good sign, but I've always expected silver to break out like it is right now. Um, so yeah, the way that I'm looking at it right now. Where's my mouse? The way that I'm looking at it, I'm just looking at silver right now. Yeah, well, I think on a short term anyway, silver's going to go up to about the $18. As I said before, that low of $12, I believe that's the low for the next couple of years, next 5 years to come. I believe we're getting ready to start we're getting ready to start a very big bull market overall, and that's basically what we're seeing through here right now. That's just what I see. That doesn't mean we're not going to go down, guys. It doesn't mean we're going to get pullbacks. What I mean by that is an overall basis over the next 5 years. We're going to continue to see silver get very, very, very good through there. Appreciate the help since watching you. My account gained 30% last week. Awesome. Sorry, question: if you want economy to recover, does economy want cheap dollars or expensive dollars? Economy wants productivity, because that's the main thing there, right? That's the foundation. Productivity is the main thing, and so you want to that's the thing you want to sort of be focused on there. So um, yeah, because if there's very little productivity, then productivity is what drives it. Um, yeah. John, what do you think about maintaining a neutral delta and trading around the edges of these positions for daily frequency scalping 1 to 2%? Don, um, what I think about that is that's a gambling mentality. What I say is, if you're looking to scalp or looking to trade that, do not be trying to think that you know what's going to happen. Have a set of rules, have a system, have a pattern you look for. Take the pattern every time, and just rinse, recycle, repeat. Don't be trying to scalp here and scalp there and think you know it's going to go up, because that's gambling. Don't ever do that. No. Now, if you want to trade, say, a 1 minute chart, but have a pattern that you trade on 1 minute chart, then go for that. Yeah. Look at TLT chart on 20-year bonds for the USA and look at it around 2008 timeframe. I'll do that a bit later on. 1957 GFC target based on inverted head and shoulders. Um, maybe. James, is that the S&P 500 you're talking about? Like 1957, those sort of levels? Um, my projection is actually a bit low. I think my projection on that big massive head and shoulder that may be forming, right? We may be forming that right shoulder. So the rest of this year is going to be really, really interesting to see whether we do complete that right shoulder or not, or whether it's going to do something else. I'll just keep listening to the markets. I just keep listening to the markets. But if I was a betting man, I would say we're probably likely to do not much for the rest of this year. Down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. Down 20%, up 5%, up 10%, down 10%, and then watch that. Now, that's just what I think. I could be completely wrong there. If that does happen, we are completing the right shoulder of a big, massive weekly head, a big, massive weekly top. And if that happens by the end of this year, guys, get ready for a secular year bear market. That's all I say. And it's going to be a couple of year bear market. Gold. Jay said, John, I watched your training video. Is there more than one? Oh, are you talking about when you went to johnsfreegift.com and there was a training video there? Is that the one you're talking about? James says, gold/GFC daily, weekly is super bullish. Oh yeah, definitely, James. Yeah. That one. Yes, Jay. Yes. So Jay, if you did, obviously you saw the very first video, and then my system is going to be emailing you. You go check your email right now. You would have got the very first email. It's day 1 of 7 of a free training course that I'll give you. Right. So if you went there, if you opted in today to get the free training course, you saw the first training, then go check your email right now, because day one, you obviously get that, and then tomorrow will be day 2, and then all the way up to day 7, and that's your free training course there. So that very first video you get as soon as you opt in, that's a bit of a bonus training, and then the system will automatically train you. But if not, then just email me, and then I'll be gladly to get that out to you. But if you haven't got that free course, then just go to johnsfreegift.com, log into it, go to johnsfreegift.com, opt in, go check out the first training, and then obviously over the next 7 days, my system will automatically email you the rest of the free course. So I hope that makes sense through there. So anyway, guys, the bottom line is that you can do so well from this. You really, 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 really can. And I know it's confusing out there, but guys, protect yourself. This is not the time to be throwing money at the markets, because who knows what's going to happen over this year. You could be out of a job for a long time. So trying to make quick money, I would rather you try to hold on to that money as much as possible than throw it at a bunch of crap out there that you just don't believe in.